Good morning, my brothers and sisters. It is Monday, August 11th, 2014, and this is the facts of the matter. Resting in the Lord. Psalms chapter 37, verse 17. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. It sounds good in theory, but I have deadlines to meet and work stacked up at the office, and interminable family and financial pressures, and an unpredictable business climate that could turn sour without warning, and daily associations with unprincipled people who are ready to scalp me if I stumble or miss a cue. So how do I rest in the Lord? Perhaps this story will prove helpful. Herod, the egomaniacal Herod, that egomaniac Roman political puppet who oversaw Israel, execute James, the brother of John. Mark chapter 6, verses 16 through 29. But when Herod heard thereof, he said, It is John, whom I have beheaded. He is risen from the dead. For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. For John had said unto Herod, It is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have killed him, but she could not. For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and holy, and observed him, and when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estates of Galilee. And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced and pleased Herod, and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, Ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it to thee. And he swore unto her, Whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it thee unto half of my kingdom. And she went forth and said unto her mother, What shall I ask? And she said, The head of John the Baptist. And she came in and straightway with haste unto the king, and said, saying, I will that thou give me by and by in a charger the head of John the Baptist. And the king was exceeding sorry, yet for his oath's sake, and for the sakes which sat with him, he would not reject her. And immediately the king set an executioner, and commanded his head to be brought. And he went and beheaded him in the prison, and brought his head in a charger, and gave it to the damsel, and the damsel gave it to her mother. Verse 29. And when his disciples heard of it, they came and took his corpse, and laid it in a tomb. Learning that his murderous act gained the approval of the Jewish leaders, he throws Peter into jail for trial and certain execution. The night before his trial, we find Peter chained between two guards, asleep, or perhaps more descriptively, resting in the Lord. Acts chapter 12, verses 1 through 11. Now about the time Herod the king stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church, and he killed James the brother of John with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison, and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. And when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. Verse 7. And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side, and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly. And his chains fell from off his hands. And the angel said unto him, Gird thyself, and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he saith unto him, Cast thy garments about thee, and follow me. And he went out, and followed him, and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. When they were past the first and the second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leadeth unto the city, which opened to them of his own accord. They went out, and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. And verse 11. And when Peter was come to himself, he said, Now I know of certainty that the Lord hath sent his angel, and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. Now, if I were in Peter's place, I would be lying awake, pondering some fairly weighty questions. Has the executioner had previous experience at his job? Or am I his first try at it? Is he going to be swift and accurate? Or is he going to take more than one swing to finish the job? How is his eye-hand coordination? What is going to happen to my family? But not Peter. He's asleep, resting in the Lord. My guess is that Peter, after innumerable false starts and failures, had learned a few lessons along the way about entrusting his life into the hands of his sovereign God. Questions. What circumstances are you facing today that call upon you to rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him? Psalms chapter 37, verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked device to pass. Could they be any more extreme than Peter's? And when you get right down to it, isn't resting in the Lord fundamentally a decision of the will to trust him without our circumstances? With our circumstances? Isn't it fundamentally a decision of the will to trust him with our circumstances? Letting our will go and letting his will be done. With our life, isn't our refusal to rest in the Lord an indication of our stubborn determination not to acknowledge him as the sovereign King of kings and the Lord of lords? Revelation chapter 19, verse 16. And he hath on his venture and on his thigh a name written. And that's vesture. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Are you, in your heart of hearts, electing to believe God sovereignly has your situation well in hand? If so, then you, like Peter, are experiencing evidence of that rest by an inner peace, the absence of anxiety, and a certain calm anticipation of the future. Are you resting from the you and resting in the Lord? And that is today's Facts of the Matter for Monday, August 11th, 2014. Peace be in you, my brothers and sisters. May the Lord have mercy on us all. If you're in rebellion, repent. Stop doing what it is that you're doing. Full-heartedly repent and don't go back to your wicked ways. Repent, my brothers and sisters. I love you guys so very, very much. God bless.